right? I want really to slow it down a little bit, by a few months, so that you can get your feet under the ground, have a foundation. When you have your recommendations, the logic train goes all the way back, and it's well thought out, and you get the right person for the job for what we need first time. But I hear what you're saying. It's nice to get everything at once.
I guess my problem is that if we don't make a decision now, it won't be part of our budget for 2013, and then we're going to be euchred, because we'll have to wait for another year. That's the final year. It's 2014, right? And basically our opportunities are past.
Right.
So if we don't move it forward immediately, we're going to...
Well, we can add a recommendation at the very end, but it wouldn't, okay? That would be like F13 or something like that.
Okay.
We can add that in.
Okay.
So I want to...
Councillor Scott.
The reason, Elizabeth, we didn't put that in there, or Deputy Mayor, is that when we were going through the discussions at the table, lots of times Martin had pulled the reins back. Everybody's jumping, everybody's coming in with all these wonderful ideas to do things, but we're not there. Like, we haven't got the foundation. We know we need economic development. That's a given. We know that by the Stats Canada, by some of the other stats, we're not growing hugely. In some areas, but not hugely. So we know that we have to do that, hence the Martin Shuley project, you know, the other one that maybe is in the works, other things that are there. So when we were doing this, we were looking at it bare bones, because if you have any idea at some of these meetings of the ideas, and I mean, they were flying, and you can't put the ideas down until you have this first to be able to do it. So that's why we didn't weigh in on an economic development person, feeling that the economic development committee would be the person to put that tool in place. Because this is just a structure for a committee at this point.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking. So I don't think it is a recommendation that we should add on.
I got the recommendation F. Where's A, B, C, D, E?
Well, I picked a letter because I like F.
Okay.
So I was thinking about it. You can pick whatever you want to put in the front of it. You can do whatever you want, but I like F.
All right.
So I used F.
I just thought I didn't know whether they got thrown up, but
I know.
It did look
We
weird.
like it.
It throws you.
I went way back in the thing trying to find A.
looking for, yeah, okay.
The ETF recommends that the following recommendations for areas of immediate concern be forwarded to the EDC or offices of primary interest. Okay, so if you feel at this level that some of these recommendations can go elsewhere before an EDC, we might be able to send them there. But this is what we came up with. Recommendation F. F1. That the EDC follow the Lancashire Shores procedural bylaw, the Lancashire Shores Code of Conduct, and Municipal Act with regards to standing committees and service boards. I know that they would do that anyway, but we felt it was important to put it in just to start at the very base, so they understand that. F2, that the EDC create a master document to act as a constitution to work within, following the recommendations of the ETF report. F3, that the EDC work towards attaining the strategic directives of the Lantern Shore Strategic Plan. F4, that the EDC studies the Lantern Shore's communication mediums to the general public and industry. An example, websites, advertising, promotion, industrial, agriculture initiatives, tourism, and information technology. F5, that the EDC augment and continue to enhance the Lantern Shore's business directory compiled by the ETF. And there's a short example on the back and the full yeah.
On that directory that we had, when we got the directory from SLEP in the first place, there was only like 472 entries, and some of those were in Nairn and Sylvan and in Park Hill and all over the place. And when we actually started to go out and do part of our research, which was look at each individual little town, we found a number more of that. On the SLEP report on page 2 was also 70 businesses, and one of them was No Frills, which has been here for a number of years. No address, no contact, nothing. So they had a list of ongoing things that they needed to research. It just wasn't complete. So we felt that that was a really important thing, and that we've updated it more. There's still some things in there that need to be fine-tuned and taken out. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the director compiled by the ETF. F6. The EDC explore and enhance partnerships with all levels of government, economic development organizations, and identify and eliminate duplication of services. Okay, an example, SLEP, TSL, SL, BGC. We're wondering, we don't know if there is a duplication, but why would we duplicate our services? Because we didn't want the EDC to start, hey, we'll do this, this, and this, when there's still something there we can umbrella underneath. In other words, using our resources much better, and this will help a lot if we have, right, coordination. F7, that the EDC provide recommendations to council as required of policies pertinent to improve the strategic plan. F8, that the EDC provide recommendations to council on questions directed to the council.
Councillor Russell, you have
Just go back to F6, I was just wondering, again, going back to the chief clerk. I like that word, chief. The duplication here, one of the things, this is always a bone of contention, this EDC and SHLEP and all these. So maybe as part of that direction, again, the chief clerk, maybe she could get it through the county, what the mandates, what the funding formulas, share of all those things, so that as part of the initial research for the EDC, I'll go to this issue, it's as simple as this, Marty. I chaired EDC back in Bosanko days, and the best thing we did in the first, basically, 2 meetings was educate through her office. She's got a mountain of information.
Okay, that's
And
fantastic.
all I'm saying is that there's always a bone of contention, and you're going to always have a politician who will say, well, we spend a lot of money on it already. Well, we do, but it's through a process, and you have to understand the process. These two go to the county, they probably understand it fully, but we don't as councillors or general public don't. So I think it's very important that there's no misunderstanding right at the start. Your committee could end up having meetings that last 2 hours just talking about SHLEP, or one of these acronyms, right, or how it works, right? And we've had that at council, Mr. Mayor.
That's really good. Do we need to do something for that, or it's
Just that, I think it's just.
Just add the
Chief
clerk.
clerk is making.
Okay,
Chief
thank you.
clerk, it's a chief.
Can I get to F9?
We did.
That the EDC explore the strategic policies of land shores regarding service fees, land acquisition, and parking policies. That was a recommendation that came from the group because they were very concerned about a lot of things, and they thought this was something that they really needed to have a look at for our long-term planning for economic development. Reference those backgrounds. F10, that the EDC identify economical and effective mechanisms to strategically provide guidance to council surrounding services, recreation, and infrastructure. F11, that the EDC identify and provide recommendations to council on issues it feels will best serve the municipality of Lantern Shores' long-term economic development.
That's where an economic development person could come in.
And that might be right there. And finally, F12, the council informs the EDC of any changes or amendments to the strategic plan. So we can see, so we have a feedback loop there. So if we change something from a strategic plan, we can incorporate it into their discussions and all that. So now have no doubt that would happen because you'll both be members of it. So any change in the strategic plan goes back and forth, but then it's more formalized. So as you can see, it's very simple, it's very basic, it's very bare bones, and it's quite broad. We wanted to give the Economic Development Committee as much leeway as possible to go where they wanted to go and where they felt they needed to go.
Recommendation 6 is also the
Deputy
6th
Mayor Dec.
letter of the alphabet, John.
Did you come to any conclusions as to what the budget should be for this committee and what the value of the services of a potential economic development officer would be to?
We didn't think of the Economic Development Office, but when we were talking about budget, we were saying we're thinking about conferences over us, and this is why we refer to the Chief Clerk's office to, she might be able to figure out what's going on with other areas and things like that. And you know what, the first year especially, I'm not sure, this is a whole new animal for us, right? So if we do have it, and if we do decide that we're gonna have an Economic Development Committee member on conferences or going out for expositions or something like that, and have a Lantern Shores stand or something, this could all be part of it, and we might have to add it to the budget as we go along.
That will be part of those of us that go to conference to bring back information on economic development and can attend the economic development things, so it shouldn't necessarily have to be charged directly to this committee.
But again,
This is a conference.
if we're gonna do something like an exposition or something where we have a Lantern Shores area or information package, should we do it under SLEP? Do they do it as well? I don't know.